as the contractor to handle it. But the question I want to go to Amapos anybody is what happened to our public bidding for jobs like this?
No, Kelly.
When we had, you would answer. That's why I'm raising this point, because these are some of the things some people were thinking of.
Yes.
When Lagos State announced the fourth mainland bridge, it took years. It took almost 2 years before we got to this point. Companies, they did adverts, companies bid for it, and eventually some contractors were chosen to do it. They talked about funding and all of those things. Yes, the state government, they've gone through the process. They went to the House of Assembly to get approval to borrow for that project, 200 billion. That is being done. But there seems to be a style of unilateral mention of contractor to do a job of this magnitude. It was just mentioned yesterday by the governor, Julius Berger. We trust that you can deliver. We expect you to deliver. We've paid 77% upfront. On 75% delivery of the job, we're going to give it a balance. That's what the governor said. You're just hearing these things. You just heard. The governor just makes a pronouncement. It's like somebody's personal project. Has something changed in our public administration system? Has something changed in the way we award contracts so far in Rivers State, so that these things don't particularly seem like, well, it's something new?
Okay, Kelly. Let me first start from what Prof said to talk about what has changed. A lot has changed. Prof said he has not known the present governor, but that he was impressed with the man's humility in coming on air to say Rivers people and Nigerians should forgive him if he makes any mistakes in this early stage, because he is learning on the job. I agree with Prof that that's an important statement of humility. It also shows that he has room for us to point out to him how not to make the mistake, so that we don't have the problem of forgiving him.
Okay.
And this discussion is part of that process. We can point out to him what will be a problem when he's going well. We can also give him the opportunity by the kind of questions and comments we make for government to come forward with better explanation, or to learn from our argument what to amend in their position.
Okay.
That interactive process is what the advantage of multiple radio stations and a vibrant talk show program like Today FM has contributes to development in a society. Now, let us say what has changed. First is that the feudal system has reached, in my thinking, a stage of total control of different facets of our national life, to the extent that the traditional institution, which is supposed to, that was where I disagreed with my brother Barrister Arochukwu, that the traditional institution, especially in the Niger Delta, where that institution had a history of resistance to foreign incursion into local governance, into domination by imperialist colonial agents, and in fact even resistance to internal colonialism. The ability of the traditional institution is being eroded every day, just as we pointed out in the first phase of this program today, that no side of the government structures appears to be talking to correct the other. And the reason is because of the monopoly of resources by the office of the governor in every state of the federation. The governor has monopoly of resources, state resources, and also opportunities in the public and private sector. He has a near monopoly. But that's not all that has changed. What has also changed is that we see that because of the bad performance of the feudal system, which rewards a few elite in power with total domination of the society, and then at the same time forces the majority of citizens into slave conditions as one Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu pointed out in his letter to President Jonathan in January 2012. What we see is that people tend to avoid increasingly, people are pushed away from expression of their true opinions or representing the people they are supposed to, especially institutions like the traditional institution. We saw that from especially 2007, increasing dictatorship over traditional institution became evident from 2007. In fact, it got to the point where something that was not heard of in the history of Rivers State traditional institution in the Niger Delta, a governor would summon a traditional ruler to government house and ask him, are you with me or you are not with me? If you are not with me, then we'll remove you and put somebody who is who will be with me. It happened to my king, the Amenable of Opobo, under former governor Chief Rotimi Amechi. Right? So this thing has a history. Unlike Arochukwu said, in the pre-colonial times, the traditional institution in the Niger Delta resisted the white man's incursion into our local markets and our ways of life. We can talk about the King Koko of Nembe. We can talk of King Jaja of Opobo. We can talk of several traditional rulers in the Niger Delta. They resisted. They did not surrender to colonial incursion. We even saw that when the colonial government was set up here, the women's riot in several parts of the Niger Delta received the backing of their traditional institution, because the traditional institution never rose up to condemn the women who went to riot over taxation. What is happening now is that since 1999, a subtle attempt is being made by the feudal system to remove the teeth of our traditional institution and render the people increasingly conducive to enslavement. So a situation where we find that a traditional ruler can be reduced to the status of a civil servant. Even a civil servant has protection under the GEO, or whatever it is called now. Nowadays, it used to be the GEO, the document that shows what the civil servant can do and not do, and his or her protection under the law. The traditional rulers today don't have protection. They don't have any protection. So part of what we are talking about is how can the society rise in their defense, because this traditional ruler is an embodiment of cultural identities of a people. But back to the road, why the system has changed in a way to make this kind of non-consultative non-consultative approach is that the system has changed the foreign exchange market. In those days, even if you took 2 years consulting people, the exchange rate
remained the same.
Was stable. I worked for a Swedish consultancy in 1973-74. They did a social survey and mapping of the old River State, where the Ring Road project and the international airport and all of those things, Ring Road projects, were included under Governor Dieter Spiff. It took us 2 years to do social surveys, negotiation with communities and everything, and a master plan was brought out for River State. But within the 2 years, the exchange rate of the Naira, at the time we started, the Naira was $1 was 70 kobo.
Okay.
By the time we finished in 1975, the Naira was $1 to 80 kobo. Over a period of 3 years, it changed just by 10 kobo. Right? Today, the Naira, yesterday, in fact, this morning as you're coming to work or to the studio, is a different thing from the naira you will meet by the time you go home. So if a government or anybody who has a project does not nail down price and payment fast at current price, exchange rate of the naira, you can't do any business.
So it will be the burden of the contractor to figure out how it's going to
The contractor
execute.
will not deliver. Because if the exchange rate changes and you haven't paid him, you have already made the contract
more expensive.
not only more expensive, unworkable.
Okay.
He wants to be paid. By paying him, he can now deposit that money to procure all the resources he requires to deliver that job. He cannot come to tell you that the exchange rate affected his work because you have a good reason to say, but I paid you. That example was set by Governor Wike before he left office. In 30 months, he built 12 flyovers. No matter what people say against Governor Wike, he was a star in terms of his public sector economics calculation regarding the construction of infrastructure. By paying ahead, he made the contractors unable to fail on the job. So it is understandable that the present governor learned from that approach to say, if you provide the money necessary upfront, the contractor can be held down to a time schedule for the completion of the project.
How about the process of picking the contractor?
Of picking the contractor.
The process of picking the contractor.
If we follow the process established by law, the public procurement law, it will take time. I agree with you. But what we forget is that this is a sitting contractor who is on site and has a record to deliver quality projects as and when due. So a government can make a case to say, given the track record we have and the fact that this contractor is already mobilized and present in our environment, whatever we want to use him to do, based on the terms and conditions he has demonstrated before, it makes business sense to engage such a person. But let me point out one thing.
The credibility of this contractor has been built over time.
Yes.
Because he has been tested.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Have we allowed others to be tested?
That's a very important issue. In 1970 to 75, Rivers State government, by its infrastructure development program, raised indigenous contractors to become major players in the real sector of our economy. You had the W.W. White, you had OCJ, MCC, you had OCC Limited, you had MCC, you had Isokrari, Isokrari construction company, you had the late Chief Lulu Bricks construction company, not money,
Lubric.
Yeah, Lubric. All of these indigenous contractors had the opportunity to train and grow on the job based on availability of opportunities given to them, right? What is happening now is that because the feudal system is boxing us into a pressure cooker over foreign exchange rate, over instability, over all kinds of things, and creating an uncompetitive environment for indigenous contractors, it puts the foreign contractors at great advantage against your indigenous potentials. Not only can they not find a local currency to go and bid for foreign exchange, they can also not be in time to go and find the right equipment to come to do the work. Whereas the expatriate competitors have a home country they can call to get the right equipment they need, and they have the corridors through which to manage the foreign exchange. So,
but if the government
sorry, sir, I suggest that in every contract,
okay,
the government must have a program for what we will call some kind of subcontracts to indigenous contractors. That over a period of 4 years, we should have a target that says we are going to grow 10, 14 indigenous road contractors. So, and these are the level of road projects they can do.
Okay, so
as is done in major multinational companies in the oil and gas industry, they categorize the level of jobs indigenous contractors can do, and the ones that international contractors can do. Rivers State government needs to get in there and set that.
I don't know if this is a matter of policy, but I know that on one of the projects under the Wiki administration, it was mentioned that the size of that project was going to allow for local contractors to learn and grow. It was mentioned. That's why I said I don't know if it's a matter of policy. Now, if that statement was made and you don't have an update going forward to say certain number of contractors have been raised
from this level
to this level,
yes,
you don't have an update.
There is no progress in that direction.
How then can you say that? Because the government can help these local contractors
to grow.
They can help them.
Yes.
So if the government unilaterally says, for this, you take it. For this, you take it. For this, you take it. Without opening a space, creating that environment for competition, how then can the smaller ones grow?
No, Kelly, there is a mistake here. But let me point out, as I said in course of my statement, the Ring Road project has been on the drawing board from the 1970s. No government was smart enough to pick it up and run. That report by the Swedish consultancy, it was a company called Specialist Consult, had elements that were designed to transform the economy, productive capacity, and social life of the people of old Rivers State, and integrate them better through improved access to other parts of Nigeria. It included dredging, it included canalization through creeks, it included the road projects, as well as modes of transportation in Rivers State. It anticipated the growth of our road networks in 5-year, 10-year, 20-year dimensions. It was time plan kind of blueprint. But the point is this: we would like to see that the present government, in adopting a ring road approach, is not doing a welfare project, but something, as the governor said, that will open up economic space for investments and for productivity. However, the governor and the government of Rivers State should be encouraged to begin now to identify what kind of economic investment projects that will yield productive returns for our investing 190 billion into that. I keep saying that Rivers State, if you do a ring road that follows the old plan left by Specialist Consult, which is still valid.
Is that the plan they are executing now?
No, I don't think so. Everybody comes and takes a scratch out of it. Governor Melford Okilo's administration took the canalization bit out of that plan, right? Governor Rufus Ada George government took a certain portion from that plan, right? So, and when we had the Rivers State 25 years Silver Jubilee anniversary, I was chairman of the Publicity and Programs Committee. We brought all the past governors to the radio station and interviewed them on what they were going to do about that plan. And all of them said they saw the plan, it was good, and they will take bits and pieces of it. Of course, it didn't include those who came to power from 1999. But what I'm going to is this: we have to stop thinking of road projects just to please, to create welfare or what do we call it, amenity for communities. We must begin to see road projects as the vehicle for dedicated economic investments to be attracted to a particular place. And nobody in the outside world wants to invest unless the government of that place is willing to lead the way. So we need to see a Rivers State government using the opportunity of this 30 months or 36 month project to identify and begin to locate an animal feeds industry, a maize, or what I call a maize and plantain flour revolution in Nigeria. Kelly, maize production in the global market is a $29 billion business. And River State in the Niger Delta is well placed to do maize because it can grow 2 times a year. Everyone we process and send into a whole part of East Africa and Southern Africa depend on maize in one form or another. So this economy can take as a goal for this ring road project the establishment of major farms and processing facilities to get us 20% of that 29 billion every year, and we will have paid for the road.
But the reason we're having this conversation is to open them up into these ideas.
Yes.
But there are still some issues which you were trying to answer, and I asked the question.
Yes.
If we over time we cannot tell how many of these local people you have grown, local contractors you have grown, there seems to be a culture of we have given it to you. We have given it to you.
We've settled you.
We have given it to you.
Yeah.
For most of the contracts in the Wiki administration, the major contract was by Julius Berger.
Yeah. No, the flyover
I said
project.
For most of them. For
the
most
flyover
of them.
project.
For most of his road, most of them was Julius Berger. And I said most of them.
The flyover
He did
projects.
a lot of projects. But I said most of them, Julius Berger. And it's on record. But my question is, the government can't create the environment for local contractors to grow.
I agree with you.
That doesn't seem to have been done.
I agree with you.
We have another one now, a big project as this. You could give community boys to supply sand, shippings, and all of those things.
Yep.
That's the most that will come out of it, isn't it?
Yep. It doesn't grow their skill.
We're not intentional about how we want to grow ourselves and create wealth.
Not just growing ourselves, being competitive in order to create wealth. Because in the global economy today, if you're not competitive, you are out. But there is something we have mentioned in course of this conversation. Look, the oil industry is a good example. They categorize indigenous contractors and foreign contractors. When I was in Shell, we challenged the management at a meeting in 1997. I said to them, we have 8,000 indigenous contractors on our record, and they are not getting 1% of the jobs from our budget. And the management sat up and said to me, are you sure, Mr. Brown? I said, yes, here is my record. We met with the Indigenous Contractors Association, and we've gone through our finance department in terms of payment to contractors. And we can say authoritatively that they didn't get, over a period of 3 years, they didn't get 1% of the budget. So the company began a systematic process of capacity development and drive towards equal opportunities. They categorized indigenous contractors. There are certain jobs that must be kept for indigenous contractors. There are those where indigenous contractors can vie with their foreign competitors, and there are those left exclusively for foreign. For instance, putting off a fire at a wellhead. Don't bring an indigenous contractor, because first and foremost, he will run from the fire. You have an international consortium called Boots and Coots sitting in Houston, warming their hands, waiting for that phone call. Once they hear about fire in any part of the world, they just bought their aircraft with the equipment already packed, and they come there, bomb the fire, and kill it. That's what they have come to do. Okay? So in River State and in Niger Delta and Nigeria, we must begin the process of categorizing our contractors to grow, to show them a growth path. It happened in the construction of roads in Abuja. The federal government under IBB brought in Julius Berger and was paying them with crude oil. You remember the story?
Okay.
So Julius Berger had most of the jobs, but they then had Dantata and Sawoi, which were indigenous companies from the north. And they were given some of the ancillary roads to build. From building ancillary roads, Dantata and Sawoi have grown into an international operator in Africa.
Okay.
So we need to have that kind of mentorship and graduation program for indigenous contractors in this administration, so that we don't suffer continuous underdevelopment from the cutting away of our wealth through contracting.
Mr. Ndukwe, I know we've talked about the Ring Road project quite extensively. Now, by Monday, at least from what the governor said, by Monday, the flag off would begin for that road construction. 6 different locations. Julius Berger will be building from simultaneously 6 different locations, according to the Commissioner for Works. The governor says we're going to start as we've started, we'll complete it in 3 years. Do you have concerns?
Well, Kelly, there are a lot of concerns for Emmanuel Ndukwe. The problem is that not only in Rivers State, I think Nigerian system seem to kill its own and then do well to outsiders. That's what I find out, and that's my conclusion. See, there's no system. Charity, they say, begins at home and shouldn't end there. But this one seems to be that charity for Nigerian system begins abroad. How can you tell me that Julius Berger has been tested? Tested where? Didn't they start one day? They started one day and were continuously granted the opportunity until they became seasoned in their field.
Now, I hate to interject. I even wonder, so tested, the first set of bridges they built in River State does not anyway reflect the experience.
It's still in your hands as government to know where these people have reached and know the kind of job to give them. What I'm saying is that even a child at home, you have your child that is small, you start grooming him. If you don't groom him and you keep on giving to your cousins that are matured, your child will someday become a liability to you because you didn't. See, when you say, for instance, traditional rulers who, whatever, you will not look at them with good eyes.
No, you could call it what it is now. You will suspend them.
It's just the same way. Whether you suspend or you beat the person or you derobe the person, it's the same bad eyes you are using in looking at the person. Kelly, you see, what I find out is that Nigerian system of government has destroyed the traditional institution completely. Because I know when I was growing up, the stories we were told about how traditional rulers were opposing the colonial masters.
Yes.
And they were doing things the right way for the people. But now, when immediately government made incursion into traditional institutions and started even appointing those who are not supposed to be traditional rulers. These are political traditional rulers. They pay them money. Kelly, whoever detests the
who pays the
piper detests the two. If you are giving Emmanuel Ndukwe, let's say 500,000, whatever you say at my level, I'll say thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll look the other way. Because I'm not naturally that kind of person, I will not even agree when you appoint me. Because I know I must have a class with you someday. Because you cannot, I'm not caught up for that kind of blind loyalty which politicians want. Now, tell me the boys in their places, when some of them have learned to a certain level and their fathers, for instance, have construction companies or organizations that could even pour laterite, I don't say give them bridge. And you did not give them any work. Everything is now determined and given to Julius Berger. And when they come there, they are pouring in everything across their own area. And the people protest. You hand them into prison, for instance. What kind of, is this democracy? Always be reading what I tell you that there is no democracy in Nigeria. It starts from government houses, the way they treat people. Now, how can you say there's democracy? You don't even allow public hearing. Everything where people make imputes to happen, you just come up, choose contractor, you without procurement processes. You just adopt everything. Yes. What kind of God? If God behaves that way, can we stay on this earth? Do you think about that? So for me, I think Ring Road, 3 years is going to be, let them continue with the whole thing. But let them be very careful. The people they appoint as traditional rulers will always obey them. But the children may not follow their fathers blindly. Because, you know, as I am now, I have grown older than some youths. The people that are younger than me, who their hairs are hotter, will say, oh, God, I don't want that peace now, whatever they are doing, and they'll take them to prison. There they stay in the end. We are losing also manpower. Let them always be thinking. And make sure they do things in a way to benefit the public. And that is where people will not fight against government policies.
Let me ask Engineer Shepherd, before we open the phone lines, quick question. Government will tell us projects are needful. Do they really take the input of the people, or the input of the people really isn't necessary?
In the first place, they are elected to actually decide for the people, as far as Nigeria is concerned. I'm sorry to use that.
The Nigerian
language.
style?
Yes.
So they don't need the input of the people then?
Now, over time, let me start from Wike regime. Now, if you look at the style he adopted while he was still the governor, there was no consultation. Everything he did, he does it because he just felt that, okay, this is good for the Rivers people. So, and I believe that this present governor now is also taking a cue from his boss, and that is what is happening. So, for them, they actually feel that, okay, we are here to actually work for the people. Whatever we decide is good for the people. You understand? Not actually try to find out from the people, okay, is this what you want? If there's one thing I actually learned while I was serving, is that before you carry out a project, because I was a member of the MDG then, so one thing we're taught is that, okay, before you carry out any project in any village, find out from them, is this what you want? Because you might get there, you see these guys don't have water, and you feel, okay, this is what they want. When you approach them, you'll be surprised that is not their problem. They have a pressing need which you did not see. So, but unfortunately, what we have presently is that any governor that is elected just decide for the people, and they think that which they decide for the people is what is best for the people, and they just go ahead and execute that which.
Let me ask Barrister Arochukwu real quick. We have to open the phone lines afterward. Would we have a better society and better projects spread if the government would consult the people sincerely and execute what the people gave as input for projects?
Of course.
We would.
And that is very scientific. In fact, let me tell you, the idea of development, we were taught in political economy, is that you respond to the aspirations of the people in a community. Let me tell you, let's assume you want to build a flyover of 17 billion naira across a community road. But as at that day, the community, they are defecating in their neighborhoods, and they're having outbreak of cholera. They're defecating in their neighborhood because they don't have pit toilets, and their excreta is entering their local source of water, which is a pond. So they drink from that water. Their goats drink from there, and there is outbreak of cholera there. And I want to put a flyover across their road. Which one is more important? To use 150,000 naira and make a pit toilet for them, to enable them to deposit their fees very well, or to put 17 billion naira worth of flyover, and the people are dying of cholera? Of course, you have to make a toilet for them, which is very, very urgent. Once they are able to manage their fees, then we save human lives. Then the second thing I should be doing for them is that as I'm siting their toilet for them, I'm now bringing a source of water for them. It could be a well. And I will make sure that the source of toilet, the pit toilet I dug for them, and where I'm digging the well is a distant apart. Okay, to avoid any underground seepage into it. Then don't you see that with 500,000 naira, I've been able to dig a pit toilet for them. I've been able to dig a source of water for them. Now, minus it from the 10 billion or 15 I wanted to use them do a flyover across their place. What are they doing with flyover in a community? Practically everybody is using a bicycle. Let me tell you what happened in a community. In a particular community, they have the habit of going to the stream early in the morning to fetch water.
So some people came and found out that how can these people be drinking from a flowing stream in this time and age, and every morning everybody goes to the stream. So they dug boreholes. So they discovered that the boreholes, the people were not using it, and the boreholes were there and they spent millions of dollars. So the question is why? There are boreholes, you people are still going to the stream. And they discovered that in that community, that men and their wives meet early in the morning. And therefore, the children needed to go to street to give them space. Why? Because they built their house in such a way that father, mother, and children are practically living in the same room. There is no demarcations. So early in the morning, when the children trek the distance of 1 or 2 hours to the stream and come, is when the man has the opportunity to meet with his wife. So the issue is not even. So the question is, how do we do? What we do is that we have to build a house for them that will make children to stay one place, husband and wife to stay one place.
You are solving the problem of the people.
Exactly. The husband and wife will be able to have chance to, you alter their natural routine actually. So instead of meeting wife early in the morning, they can meet at any point in time. Then you use your boreholes. Do you understand? So that is the only way that, but why the ruling class in Nigeria do what they do is because once a project comes, we must tell ourselves the truth across the country. Everybody's interest is factored in, from the speaker and the members of the house, from even the traditional rulers that are factored into it, the ministers or people who are in the National Assembly, the ministers and people in the federal, everybody's interest is factored into it. So you now come and see that you want to renovate a school for 100 billion naira.
Every powerful person's interest.
Yes. Every powerful person's interest is factored into it, including a powerful militant in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Including a powerful militant, he must be part and parcel of that project. And for the militant, everything you either decide whether you get it cash, or you get it in contract, or you get it anyhow you get it. So that is what happens.
All right. Let's take your messages
Kelly,
now.
there is just one little addition to what Barrister Rochukwu and Engineer Shefa said. Before we get locked into the here and now for our communities, it's not enough. It's important to consult our people to know their needs and their aspiration, but it's not enough. We must begin now to talk of their tomorrow from their today.
But if you consult them,
without people
and government, with the resources that government has,
we should
when you
have
consult
a lot
them,
more participation.
You can
a lot more participation.
You can make
better decision. Yes, we need to bring today and tomorrow within reach of our people, so that they are not limited. I remember 4 or 5 years ago a case that went to the House of Assembly. An oil company went there to say what they are trying to do for the community. They say, what is it? Say, we ask them what their immediate need is, and we are providing that. That's the community development. What is that? Toilets. Say, you mean all you will do for the people is build toilets for them?
That's what they want.
But the fact is, it's their immediate need.
Yes, that's what
we
they
need to take that into account,
Yes.
but also put before them a blueprint
Modify it.
of where you can be tomorrow. How do we get this community to move from waiting for people to build toilet for them to going to the moon as others are doing? We need to bring that together.
All right, to your messages now. Let me begin with WhatsApp this morning. Kelly, please tell Tinubu to invest the money in electricity. Having lights alone can change things in my life. Pastor David. Pastor David, thank you so much for that message. Hi, Kelly, good morning. Ogai Man, the guest in the studio, good morning. Listening to Today Headline News, FG requesting 500 billion for palliative. The governments, please let Nigerians breathe. Henry Woko from Rumuwoko community in Mpolo, Rumugbo. Thank you so much for reaching out. Let's take another one. Good morning, all. See this government making a mess. Nigerians are suffering for absolutely nothing. Have you not wondered why they keep doing things the same way? Nigerians don't expect anything from this government. Mark my words. This palliative is a stellar plan to loot. The question is, what palliative will be enough? Oh, Kelly, Nigerians are paying for having children on high places. Kelly, the other day I saw 2 mothers with newborn babies each, and 2 teenagers moving from house to house begging for food. Chai. All right. Thank you for reaching out. Anything short of fixing refineries in Nigeria won't work. Even the so-called palliatives. The 500 billion naira request by the president for palliatives is another scam and as good as fuel subsidy itself. We must tell ourselves the truth and face the facts squarely. Nigeria must be a producing country, and this is the only and best way to make Nigeria work again. What criteria would Tinubu use to share 500 billion naira palliatives. We have many ways to create avenues to produce abundantly for the country. We have been deceived for long, and this must stop. Sally didn't tell us the name, but let's move on. Good morning, everyone. Honestly, Nigeria is full of drama. More you look, the less you see. Ogaima has just said it all, but to add to it, we were all in this country when some people called it Occupy Nigeria because of subsidy during Jonathan's government. There's nothing or any palliative that can squash the effect of removal of subsidy than fixing our refineries. Because immediately fuel pump price is reduced, transport will come down, and obviously foodstuff would also drop. So palliative is a fraud. Dinkba from Port Harcourt, thank you for reaching out. Let's do a few more. We have some messages here. Hi, Kelly, good morning. You have experienced analysts today. I'm excited. Okay, that Chinyere is the name. Mr. Ndukwe, the female analyst to join once in a while. It was suggested sometime last week.
I didn't get her name.
No. It's last week. It was suggested to have a female.
I remember.
We're working on it.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone in the studio. We shall. When shall we move from complaining to action about Nigeria and bad rulership? I'm surprised Nigerians have not entered Guinness Book of Record as best complainants. Our rulers even know that the highest we can do is to complain. So let's articulate a way out of this organized crime. DK.
Well,
let's take another one.
that means what he said to us is a complaint.
Oh, well. Good morning to you all. Please, I've not been hearing Annie's voice for some time. Annie's well. All right, let's take another one. Good morning, everyone. Please, Kelly, I want you to educate me. What did former President Buhari do with the $800 million? It has not been spent yet. We're not aware it has been spent yet.
I'm not even aware it has been received.
Yeah. Well, I heard. Okay, I can't confirm. I know I heard Zainab Ahmed at the time say the sum that they have procured, that loan that they have procured, they are talking about how to spend it. That was when they had the last NEC meeting.
Different groups went to protest. Yes, went to protest to the lending authority to say don't give that money to Nigeria because this administration is already on its way out. So we are not sure that that fund was ever made available. Yes.
So that should be the answer to your question. Will Nigeria collapse if we build our refineries? Or is it really starting from where Mr. Buhari stopped? Is Tinubu seeking permission for them to go and share the remaining balance of the money? Mr. Daniel from Igruta. Thank you, Daniel, for reaching out. Good morning, Kelly. I just want to say it's a privilege to have this group of analysts in the building at the same time. These men are revolutionary thinkers, great minds, more of them, please. About the Port Harcourt Ring Road, I'm pleading with the government to adequately compensate families whose buildings will be affected so that at least they can have somewhere else to call home. Thank you. Chika from Rumolumeni. All right, thank you for reaching out. I think the person that suggested you allow the panelists to talk is more, talk more is correct. You can play back any past episode. My one Kobo suggestion. Thank you very much too. Another report to you, Mr. Ndukwe, that I don't allow analysts to talk. So let's move on. PH, on the
His
contract
is too small.
on the contract of the ring road, see how Mr. Senebo is defending the government. It's very okay for the government to patronize foreign companies. Okay, he has a right to his opinion. If you have your own opinion, state your opinion.
Yeah.
State yours. So let's hear it.
But I've also said that they should categorize contracts so that there will be those.
No, I don't even think there's need for you to explain. If he doesn't agree with your opinion, he can just state his.
No, every listener has a right.
Yeah, he can just
like
state,
you said.
He can just state his, and we will not
hear our explanation.
We will read out your opinion. There's no issue there. Good morning, Kelly, and my well-learned individuals in the studio. My own is that those people, that their houses are close to the road, should start relocating, because they'll be demolished. Nekabari Precious from SARS Road. You see, some people already sound defeated. They know that there's nothing they can do. Once the government comes and the areas are marked, they just seem defeated. Like, what can we do? They will demolish. If your property is valued at 20 million, they can give you 10 million, and they say, manage, sacrifice.
Of course,
Because
those
it has always been like that.
dictators, even if they are civilian.
Yeah,
but
it
they
has
are
always been like that.
Okay. Soki Fubara from Port Harcourt, I'll suggest the government will feel the pulse of the people and do what is expedient. You have loads of remote and simple things rivers people need to thrive. A big road and no jobs will not help. Do you know that most waterfront communities lack simple primary health care facility or primary schools in their neighborhood? Give the people the basics of life. Do a vox pop and you can fathom what rivers people need across board. All right. Thank you for reaching out. I think we'll just do two more from WhatsApp and leave here. Good morning. Okay, this is the message. Hi, good morning. What is wrong with Mr. President and the presidency? He wants to borrow. No, he's not borrowing. We're not aware that he's borrowing. He's just collecting from what is available. We're not aware that he's borrowing, please. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. If the federal government is serious and sincere, let them use the 500 billion to buy at least one equipment for our refinery. That's the only truthful palliative. Farm, Danny Hill. All right. I think I can do some text messages. I know people want to talk, but let's just take some of these and then we'll open the phone lines, take some reactions, and close with our final story this morning.
Well, Kelly, 500 billion can provide a down payment for a new refinery to be built within 24 months.
Perhaps
a 1,000 barrel per day refinery.
Perhaps when the president tells us what he wants to do with it, we will know. Because in that letter, it's not certain what exactly he wants to do.
It has never been their priority to increase domestic production capacity in the public sector. They prefer for us to all wait for Dangote, which is Godot.
You guys celebrated the removal of subsidy. Why complain now? Removal of subsidy is the worst thing that happened to common Nigerian. Many benefited from subsidy payments, but many are suffering from the removal. Bring back our subsidy, bro. Victor. All right, thank you. Hi, Kelly and everyone. Good morning. This morning, will I be termed a bad Nigerian if I pray that the military should take over government? David, I suppose that it don't choke. Please, the Democrats in the United States of America still lost the House even after President Joe Biden campaigned to bring the price of gas down.
Yeah, DJ, but they won the Senate.
DJ from because people really said that the Democrats did not stand a chance. I said Biden had performed woefully.
They got the Senate.
They performed woefully. In fact, Republicans were overconfident that they had won that election hands down. But
they were thinking they would get a 2/3 victory in the House of Reps. They didn't.
Good morning, everyone in the studio. Your guest, the Prof. Okay. All right.
I hope they didn't say that Prof is a Julius Berger contract.
Fine, Chuku. Friday Olu from Choba. The Works Commissioner has dissected the causes of the earmarked ring road, in such a tone that smacks of authoritarian structure inherited from the colonial administration. Why box a traditional institution to a tight corner? Should your ring road uproot his ancestral home? And by your authoritarian tone of voice, it keeps the traditional ruler sulking and not distant when necessary. To the new colonial African leader, this development. Okay.
Kelly, see.
Yes, sir.
See, if the traditional rulers were those appointed by inheritance of their stools, there will be no fear. Whatever they say in their domain, government will give attention. But this one, they are paying them. They've appointed them, like I said, they are political appointees, as other political appointees. They pay them, and so if they do not pay them again, it will be a source of worry for them. And as soon as they go contrary, a little, they remove them.
Okay.
That is it.
So I'll just do 2 or 3 messages, and then we'll open the phone line straight. Good morning, everyone in the studio. Such a huge amount mentioned by the presidency for fuel subsidy palliative should be channeled to putting our refineries in order so that the issue of fuel crisis will be put to rest. I'm also appealing to my able governor, Sim, to see that the ring road gets to Eche. Toiko should allow Sim to concentrate on his huge... Okay, that was yesterday. Vincent Wozi, you did this yesterday. You're doing it again today. We get the trick, eh? Good morning, everyone in the studio. The ring road project is a good idea, but why will the governor borrow money to 77% upfront, considering the burden of cost of fund on the revenue of the state? This governor is an accountant and should know that you can use a short-term fund to finance a long-term project. The normal thing is to get a work plan from the contractor, establish milestones per year, and budget for the milestone for that year, and this applies for 3 years. This will reduce the burden of the cost of funding. And then lastly, on the contract of the ring road, see how Mr. You sent a message, Aposki. Let's keep it. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This life no balance. So, PH people are complaining of Julius Berger. About people are complaining that they have not seen anyone. Now, wow. Enzo from Uniport. All right, phone line 0817 00 951. 0810-9510-951. Again, 0817-00 0810-9510-951. All right, phone lines open. Saw it blink just now. All right, when the calls come in. Today, 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, welcome.
Vincent calling from Gori.
Vincent, please go on.
You know, one of the reasons why government will not do something right for the people, because when it is time for election, who is it going to vote for them? I mean, in such a way that to oppress others that could not be able to vote. Who is it going to carry cane to flog others that they should not vote? So they will just do whatever thing they feel like doing or whatever they like, because when it is time for election, they will employ 200 advisors and pay them 20,000 naira. Then after election, they abandon them. So that is the system that operates in Nigeria. Because if you do the right thing for the people, you could not be able to manipulate them again to enter as a governor or as a speaker. That this governor should have listened to the advice of people. I know they don't listen to radio stations, just as we are saying now. We are bringing up ideas. They don't listen. They just believe in whosoever just came close to us. They do like this. So, but if they hear from us, the country will be a better place. The state will be a better place.
All right.
It's a pity that they will not hear.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Point made. Today, 95.1 FM. Good morning. We lost a call. Please call us back if you can and when you can. We're taking your calls at this time. 0817 000951 0810-9510-951. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Morning, Kelly.
Welcome.
Yes, Obed. I'm calling from Port.
Obed, please go on.
Yes, Kelly. 500 million coming from the president from the palliative. Kelly, I do not understand this kind palliative the president is talking about. The last time I checked, the president will withdraw a subsidy. Then you want to come with palliative. So, who are the people who will be the direct beneficiaries of this palliative? Look, Kelly, the palliative Nigeria need now is for us to fix the refinery. And however since this man came into power, he's not even talking on how to immediately fix the refinery. Nobody is saying anything about that. And we heard that the former president borrowed about $19 billion to fix the four refinery. And nobody is saying anything. Then you are coming up with palliative. People who palliative. Do we say palliative? Nigeria must work. The only way Nigeria can work is for the president to fix the refinery. You understand? That's what we're talking about.
All right.
The issue of Obara. Look, we must tell ourselves the truth. The government of Rivers State is a continuation of Wike administration. It is just clear. Let's not forget, election is around, the tribunal cases is going on. They need money to prosecute those cases. How can a governor, defy a procurement act in paying 70-something%? I do not understand. You understand? So I think all these are just gimmicks to be able to prosecute the various election tribunal that is awaiting
all right.
over there.
All right.
That is what that one is meant for.
Point made. Point made. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Johnny, good morning.
Hi, welcome.
Calling from Dio.
Promise, go on.
I'm staying at my one, the most peaceful place in River State. I heard that road is going to cross Afikpo. As I'm talking, I'm calling from Afikpo by Elabuchi. It's going to pass through the waterside, come at Eagle Island. And the rumor that we are hearing that those waterside now go come out. And there's some side for timber. Where they do business, some side go come out, the rumor they hear. I pity poor people because those people are very poor time and pay house there 1,000 a month. Now the past administration end up by building bridges and roads. This new one don't start by building roads and bridges again. I'm a young guy. I lost my dad last week. I know how life is. I'm a hustler. I'm supposed to be, my dream in life is to be a medical doctor, but I could not because of no money. As I'm talking to you, I'm a hustler. Now, no factory.
So these politicians, they are very, very smart. They will always carve out a way to meet the people. You all have said it all, and to ask what you guys, the analysts, have all said, this is just a way to, put the people in a state of recompense or hibernation, if you want, to loot the treasury. That is my opinion. And now I have said it on this platform. And it was the one anchoring the show that day. And I mentioned, as it were, that if river people are allowed sit with their hands akimbo and allow this man who is now the governor of River State by omission or commission, that River State is entering a one chance again, that the governor is coming for the third tenure. And of course, if they give attention to agriculture, put a smile on people's faces, the youth to be precise, they choose to do the revise.
Okay.
So that whenever they come and need their attention, they will all be there.
Okay.
But they have forgotten that this thing they are doing is putting the youth, is putting them on a bag of gunpowder.
All right.
That will explode one day.
All right.
And in the wake of, I've forgotten his name, that someday this new castle they build, the castle they build with this money they acquire, they will lose it one day.
Okay.
And that revolution
All right.
will come.
All right.
Because centrally, it will come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Social media, let's go there now. Facebook. Thank God Abilita Toibu, Tinubu 6 rep approval for 500 billion. With 500 billion naira, Port Harcourt refinery will start operations without wasting time. I don't know who pretends to be in charge as governor is doing. Allegation there. Some of the things you said against the former governor. Allegations there, all right? I wonder why Rivers people are in tune with this level of financial recklessness. Are they? Cosmos Oyeneke, Kelly, does people know that they receive palliative? Can you please mention their names? Let's take this other one. Is dressing, does it have anything to do with intelligence or acumen? All right. They say there is a code of dressing for lawmakers. So if there's a code, he should have complied. He did not comply with the code, and the guy quietly left there. But that lawmaker that raised, he's not a busybody. Okoranta indeed he puts it this way. Good morning, Kelly. Please, I just want to salute Sofri Bobo Brown. He's full of experience and wisdom. I like listening to him. Danny Chuksaloze from D-Line. Please, these debts they are repaying back. What did they use the loan money for that we can see in the country today? Kelly, I'm asking. And why should they chase that honorable member from the National Assembly? Kelly, his dress is not normal. Is his dress not normal? There's a code. There's a code. Everyone must not wear agbada in this country. There's a code. Finally, when the National Assembly approves the 500 billion subsidy removal, they should share it among themselves, as they have always done. We're used to being patient. But Tinubu should remember if can handle the level of hardship on Nigerians. All right. And look, Thank you for sharing. I'll take 2 more from here. General Post. Samuel Hyunda puts it this way. Good morning, everyone in the studio. On Governor Uzodinma, why wouldn't he be in Abuja when he has made Imo State alleged bloodbath state? On bandits in Zamfara State, please, no amnesty should be given to them because I don't see what they are fighting for. Look at what happened yesterday after Noibo in Eleme farm boundary where Fulani headsmen allegedly shot a man and chased away women in their farm. And then Glory Iwunwa puts it this way. Good morning, Kelly. The only bill or an act of the Nigerian Constitution that has never and can never be amended is a high salary and allowances of the politicians, yet they add no revenue. And I want to get opinion of members of the panel on this story. Let's still focus in Rivers State. And my question is going to be very simple. Rivers State government extended largesse, a tradition that we've seen in recent times, especially with the former administration, of supporting bereaved families of police officers with money. The government has been, the former governor was very consistent with that. In fact, there was a case where it took a little long. I think the governor was busy, and the moment he returned, we heard that compensation has been given. 20 million given to a police officer, the wife, the widow, in Ahoda. The secretary to the state government, Tammy Danago, did that yesterday. The commissioner had praises for the action by the state government. My question is simple. In about 8 minutes, we can do this. 8 minutes. Does it improve security for us as a people in River State? By Sarah Chiku.
It does not. It does not. If we have money for the police, well, it is good to compensate the family of a dead police officer. After all, we have seen instances where a police officer died in active service and nothing was done to the family, or the wife is just running around to claim the entitlement. And they have, the widows of military policemen have always given very bad testimonies of the experiences trying to claim their husband's entitlements.
Okay.
But this one that comes in bulk is a welcome development. But what is more important is that we should make the conditions of service of the policemen and security operatives very well for them while alive. We shouldn't wait until they're dead. We compensate them.
But that's not something that the state government can do with the way our police is currently structured.
I agree. The state it's not a responsibility that rests squarely shoulders of the state government. But anything they can contribute, if they can give a dead man to see how we can make create a conducive working environment for the police. After all, I went to a police station, they built me, and it was a beautiful place. One they built somewhere close to Hyper City at.
That's the something surveillance center, one of those high-tech facilities.
So let's assume we provide that kind of facility for them and go about to put some form of allowances.
Living place.
Living place, give them a living place, then encourage them by adding some form of allowance, because it's not our duty to pay them. It will go a long way.
Prof,
Yeah.
does it improve security for us?
I don't think.
What I should say, dashing them money.
I don't think it really does that. I'm not against it. All right. I don't think that what has been done really increases security or improves security. But it's not a bad thing. Do things that will make them think like human beings, such as a livable place. If you go to where they live, let them have a sense of humanity, and also let them know that people appreciate what they are doing. This one, and letting the officers know that we appreciate the work they are doing. So we should help them.
Okay. When you are not, the home front is in turmoil. You can actually function well. If there is a way the state government can also help the families while the policeman is alive, apart from giving them a conducive place to live, the children, at least minimum of 3 children, the state government can take responsibility.
Okay.
Now, not in terms of giving them food,
scholarship.